Dear friends, we are in the crisis period still, and the crisis period, our children are with us at home. They are deprived of their regular normal classes and classroom situations. Schools are not functioning, and we are hoping that the schools will restart sooner than later. That's our hope, that's our expectation, that's what our children also are thinking. In this context, it is very important to look at when our children are at home with us, especially smaller children. We need to give them positive guidance at this juncture because they are with us. Schools are not there. And therefore the parents' responsibility is to give them positive guidance, positive mentoring, and also cultivate and nurture discipline in them. That means we first thing is we understand our children, their developmental psychology, what they need actually in their life, etc. We will understand. A clear understanding of discipline is also good for us to help them, to mentor them, to guide them, and to lead them. So there are certain things which we need to look at. The discipline, when we look at, how can we, what do you understand by discipline? How can we say or define discipline? Actually, discipline is a set of rules that governs a person's behavior and conduct. It influences the person's behavior and it leads him to conduct in a particular way. That's called discipline. If there is a disciplined person, his conduct will be well accepted. If there is indiscipline, then people will not like his conduct. Discipline, in fact, is a set of rules. The process of shaping and molding a child's attitude and behavior over the years is important because we mold, children also learn directly or indirectly from us, and therefore it's our responsibility, it's our duty to give them better experiences, and we need to cultivate an attitude that is positive. And the effective discipline, who can give? Parents, teachers, and elders in the society. There are a lot of role modeling taking place, and therefore the people who are celebrities, etc., must be people who influence children positively. Teachers, they must be aware of what to do. They must help problem solving. They must have appropriate interactions with the children, especially even in these days we can have interactions through online classes, etc. There should be an encouragement for self-discipline, and teachers must promote growth in the person, not putting down the children. If they ask questions, give them answers, encourage them, create curiosity in them, and a self-concept must be enhanced. You must tell them every day that they are an extension of the other. We are all extension of the other persons. We are an extension of the nature. We are part of this web of life. Therefore, interrelatedness, interconnectedness, interdependency, etc. are very, very important. We must help our children to internalize certain values. Now, sometimes children are punished unnecessarily. What is punishment? Punishment is an imposing external control by force on children to change their behavior. Suppose they go wrong and the parents understand, they give them certain punishment. And sometimes the punishment can be very, very detrimental to the children's growth, inflicting pain, imposing suffering, enforcing unrelated penalties, personal or emotional attacks, etc., etc., which is not very good. But then you must, through love, you must change. At the same time, strictness with love, strictness with compassion. So when do we punish a child? We punish a child when he or she misbehaves. Okay. Children then, suppose they know remorse after making a mistake also. In order to rectify the mistake, sometimes we may punish the child. This is what parents' point of view, and therefore. But then sometimes after punishment, children show certain remorse also, and sometimes parents also get very much angry, and their emotions are let out through this punishment, and therefore punishment sometimes can be very, very helpful. At the same time, it can be very harmful. If the child does not understand, so my parents are punishing me because out of love, that feeling doesn't come inside, then the child can be very, very negatively affected. And there are parenting styles, there are many parenting styles are there. We have been seeing as principals and teachers, we have been watching some of the parents how they deal with their children, because parents need not tell, we can, while looking at the children we will understand. And suppose the parent who is very, very strict, what happens, a lot of demands is put on children, and very harshly they punish, physically also they punish, physical punishment. And sometimes they always look for obedience, they value obedience, such parents. And these people are the ones that discourages independence of children or individuality of the children. They want to put them into a disciplined structure, always follow this, follow that, and controlled, and that affects the children. So strictness can be negative, and these people have no hesitation in punishing a child physically. Physical punishment will given by strict parents, and they will sometimes, some parents, they yell, they threaten the children, and they do not allow reasonable choices of the child. For example, child wants to select something, will not allow. When you go for marketing to buy something, the child says, Papa, I want this, that person will not allow, because its choice is yours, not the child's. So this is a situation. And such people, in a strict home, the child will feel very, very bad. They lack spontaneity, their curiosity, their creativity, etc. has been simply disrupted in the younger age itself. They have limited independence and assertiveness. They will not be feeling comfortable, they will not be assertive, they will be always timid, hesitant, and there will be a lot of lack of confidence. That's a word we can say about this. And they don't learn how to decide for themselves. Somebody has to decide for them, because they have already got frightened of the decision making. They are not sure how to behave and depend instead on others for their sense of control. So these people will always have that negative aspects. And interestingly, these children will have low self-esteem. Esteem is important for a person's growth, and those who are lacking self-esteem will always behave in a timid way. They will not come out, they will not take initiative, they will be what we call diffident people, and sometimes they can lead to aggressive and defiant, very, very aggressive children they can be. So the schools and so on, we say parents who are very strict, their children will be the one indulging in all kinds of misbehaviors in the school. Fighting, physical fight with companions, etc. happens because of the parents' strictness. There is another group of parents, they are called permissive parents. Permissive parents will always allow the children to do anything, sets no guidance, asserts no authority, remains very, very distant from the children. There is no affectivity and emotional attachment. They remains uninvolved in the classes. Such children, and uses excuses for not spending quality time. Such parents will not give time with children. They have no time. Even these holidays, this pandemic crisis period, we can see such parents will have no time, even though they are at home with children. And whenever child demands, there's defensive mechanism. Papa, I want this, I want that. They will simply allow. So, and these people, no demand from children, no expectation from children, and very little structures they have at home to give them a self-disciplined life. And a parent who is sometimes a substance abuser or immature, or he himself is lacking self-esteem, etc., they are the ones so much of permissiveness given to the children. And in a permissive home, the children's behavior has some effect. Number one is they learn little self-control. They have no self-control. Emotionally they will take it up and then act it out. And they will be invariably, they are proved to be very, very immature. People have seen that. Immature children. And sometimes they may be at home also, outside also, it can be very, very aggressive. They fight. They rebel against parents, etc., etc. And irresponsibility is their life. Very, very low self-esteem for these children also. If parents are too much permissive, children will be self-esteemed. Lack of self-esteem, low self-esteem. And their emotional development will be delayed. We say the chronological age and the mental age must go together. But this will not happen in these permissive children. Their growth will be, development will be, emotional development will be very slow. It will be delayed. And when they have frustrations and difficulties, these children will find it extremely difficult to cope up with. These are the signs of the permissive parents as children. And very often they don't go to school, they don't like to attend the classes, etc. And when they grow in the adolescence period, these children can easily fall into the trap of drug abuse. They are the ones addicted to drugs, etc., or alcohol, etc. And these children will break the law. We call the children who are delinquent children. Sometimes breaking the law and moving out of the normal life, etc. That is the sign of these permissive parents. Now there are moderate parents. Moderate parents, children, the parents, they set reasonable standard in life, has reasonable expectations from children. They encourage children to be independent and their individuality also accepted. That uniqueness is, you are different, grow, and they treat with their children like friends. Okay. They definitely enforces firm laws at home, and consistency will be their hallmark. But their strictness and their consistency, children will understand, yes, they are for us. That feelings will be there. And they allow choices in life. What you want, you choose. And therefore children will get better experiences. They have very, very, at home the moderate parents will have democratic relationship. Husband, wife, children, etc. Their relationship will be democratic. Yes, you have a role to play. Accept that kind of a parent. And they recognize individual rights even though children are small. And in this kinds of a moderate house, those children who are brought up in a moderate parents setup, these children will grow in responsibility. Mostly you can see the responsible children who are self-disciplined, etc. They are quite independent in the sense they can stand on their own with an opinion, with in an adverse situation, etc. They feel interdependency. They feel that the other also has an important role. Therefore, life will be quite interdependent and interconnected. They will have high self-esteem. Self-esteem comes from the family. How you create that atmosphere, a conducive atmosphere will give them a creative atmosphere, a self-esteem, and therefore they will grow in confidence, and therefore these children will have better control of their aggression, etc. They will not simply get addicted to their emotions and anger, etc. And it is easy for us to know these children from the childhood itself. We need to understand our children, the growth pattern, etc., etc. Very often children misbehave with a reason. We have seen children fighting, bullying, and using abusive languages. Some of them, the early childhood itself, misbehaving. Nobody likes indiscipline, we call in the schools, and etc., etc. Why? Because then they are very often, you will find that they are seeking attention from parents, attention from teachers, and their peer group, and they also seek for power. They want power. And in order to use, I am more powerful, I have to defeat other people. And that is why there is a clash coming, and such children will fight with others, etc. Sometimes it is also a result of revenge, a lot of revengefulness. And you see today the movies, the media, what we are seeing is all about revenge. There is always fight between the heroes and the villain, and this is what children are picking up. Therefore, we need to create positive discipline in children. And what are the steps to take positive discipline? I'll just explain 3-4 points and we'll stop. Remember, we need to ignore minor irritating behavior. Praise and reward positive behavior. We say always, there is an incentive must be given to children. Incentive means awarding or rewarding, appreciating, encouraging, saying a good word about the children, etc. These are very, very important for the child's positive behavior. So we must praise, we must reward them. Be specific with praises. When they do a good job, very specifically say you have done a good job. And whatever work they do, from the beginning itself, encourage them to follow certain basic rules. That has to be given. That is why the responsibility of the parents and teachers in the early period matters a lot. And we can decide together what consequences will result from breaking the rules, etc. Tell the children, explain to the children, if you keep your finger in the fire, it will burn. Beginning itself, consequences must be taught. Every karma, every action will have a consequence. Every choice we make will have a consequence. Such things has to be taught to the children from the beginning itself. And these consequences consistently and calmly will help the children to take positive actions always. We have to anticipate trouble, give gentle reminders earlier, offer choices, overlook small annoyances in order to overcome the negativities of the children, and encouraging the children to be positive. And we need to be firm. Surely we need to be firm and stay in control, and we must use a lot of positive techniques to bring our children in a better way. I think if we follow these things, I am sure our children will get a better future, a self-disciplined life, and that is what at this juncture we can contribute to their lives, especially in the pandemic crisis when they are with us all. I think if you take these points into consideration, I am sure that the children will have a better and a positive future, a positive life. Thank you very much.